When faced with the limitations of living history, many people default to the idea that more training will solve the issues. In all honesty, I believe that living history is a fundamentally flawed method of interpretation, especially when telling diverse, complicated stories. I disagree with you. And this is why I disagree with you. It's one thing to put all this wonderful information on a wall. Many people in the public, and we just talked earlier in tonight's stream about people's attention spans growing shorter and shorter. It ain't clicking. One way you can get most people's attention, even those that have next to no interest in history, let them handle something. Let them see it. Let them smell it. Let them experience the aromas of the 19th century or the 18th century or whatever time period you're depicting. So I do not agree with this statement that this should go from primary to supplementary due to the limitations. It's a difficult thing to portray history authentically. And in many instances, to be quite honest, guys, it is a lot of, you gotta leave some wiggle room. Because I've seen some historians over the years, they'll dress up and they'll go out and do historical interpretation. And let's say we find a new piece of information. It's like, hey, what about this? Well, that's wrong because I'm dressed like this and I'm right. Now, don't go in with that attitude. Leave wiggle room. I always say, so based off the information I have at my disposal, this is what likely they could have been wearing. That's just my personal suggestion to do living history. Always allow that wiggle room that, hey, more information can come out anytime that proves that I'm wrong. I'm working with what the best I got. You may know a lot, but you're not going to be an expert. We're always students of not any type of field of study. Even after some of us, if we end up getting our degrees, and even if we end up starting to teach some of the stuff, we're always learning. We're always thriving to find a new bit of information. I am willing to change all my interpretations if I find a different fact. And thankfully, now I got the right information for now. And there's been videos I've done on this channel, even just going 2 years back, that I've found I had a certain amount of information available to me. That's what I worked off of. And I've come back those videos I have issues with. Even the Adam Stephen video that just came out 2 months ago. I thought I had all my primary sources in a nice order to explain what Stephen was doing in 1759. Within 1 week of posting that video, somebody brought it to my attention that there is this other letter I did not know about relating to Adam Stephen. It says he was at a different location than where I said. It's just based on I didn't have access to that information at the time, but now I'm glad I know that, and I know that going forward. And what I was getting to wrap it all up, because I might have went down a rabbit hole on that one. Living history is hard to do right, but when you do it right, it pays off in dividends. Old and young love seeing people in appropriate attire going up and learning about these people of the past. I personally am not into doing I don't go to the level of some where they'll basically portray a historical figure. And that's not that I have an issue with it necessarily. I just feel a little awkward about it because I'm like, this is a person that actually lived. I feel a little weird claiming I'm them because I'm not them. So I prefer more doing hey, I'm a private in the Union Army in 1864. I don't like doing, I am Ulysses S. Grant. There's people that do that, and there are people that can do it well. That's just not me personally. So I don't personally advise sites doing living history based off of an individual. I prefer more keeping them bland, if that makes sense. Not that the interpretation's bland, but more the I am El Generico. I am Senior Sunglasses. I am John Smith. John Smith in the 17th foot. Living history is always going to fall short in traditional measures of success, such as return on investment, because it doesn't pay off in the same way that other kinds of interactive exhibits or touchscreens do, he adds. Plus, touchscreens don't take vacations, so they're readily available year-round instead of just occasional weekends. Fair enough. I feel that, but also, please stop with the touchscreens. Stop putting the screens in your eyes and rotting our eyeballs out. Please stop. Go out and touch grass. Historical grass. Put a plot of grass in the visitor center. Have them physically touch grass. The act of touching grass. And then they'll be more interested than doing the digital touching grass on the screen.